All right, welcome to the Pastor Speak podcast. And I bet you guys know what's coming up. We're going to be talking.
Did you?
I just stole your joke.
You
it's
just
fine.
did that, man.
I just stole your joke.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about gambling and sports betting. It's only a few days until the biggest football game of the year.
Which one is that?
I don't know that I can name it.
We can't say it.
I can't
There's
say
another
We
way
will
that you
be
can say it.
sued.
It's like
It's called the big game.
The big game.
The
That's what it's
big
called.
game.
At my home, at the church I grew up at, we would have a soup or bowl of caring, and it was giant soup dishes that people would donate money in, and then we give that money to like
Wait, I get it.
yeah, like
I
a
get it.
soup bowl.
Kind of like the big game.
What are we talking about right now?
Okay, we're talking about sports gambling.
Talking about
Oh,
sports
okay.
betting.
sports betting, sports gambling, whatever. So if we were to talk about like gambling as a whole, how do you think it's really saturated our culture? There's a reason why we're talking about it.
Well, I mean, you just brought up, the game this week. And first off, it's going to be the biggest gambling of the big games. The most money ever will be bet
Can
on
we
this
really
game.
not say? We can say it, right?
No, you really can't.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
You're gonna
really
have to
can't.
bleep
I
it
mean,
out. If
I have a hard time believing the NFL would pursue us in litigation,
We have a high listener.
but they might
I do know that
use
they've
YouTube to.
in past years they have pursued legal action against churches that have had watch parties.
It's kind of silly. I mean, why do they feel the need to do that?
Money.
It's a good segue. Well, they're expecting there's apparently is association called the American Gaming Association. It's not about board games. I'll tell you that.
Dang it.
They're expecting $1.7 billion to be bet on this game Sunday. 27% year over year increase. So huge topic. That's a lot of money that's going to be wagered. And we understand that it's growing because now Missouri is one of the more recent states to legalize sports betting. The Supreme Court made it possible back in 2018. Since then, I think we're on 39 states. And it's going to eventually hit every state, it's going to eventually hit every state. In Kansas, we've been there a few years. And so it is massive. I mean, you can't watch sports without being hit now with sports betting. And Kevin and I, we are here because we're both sports lovers.
We do love sports.
We talk a lot about sports. It's one of the big things we bond over, and we've talked, over the past few years, our frustrations with how intertwined sports has become with gambling and how everyone is benefiting from it. All the big leagues talk about wanting to keep the game pure and the integrity of the game, but they're in cahoots with all the sports companies. They have official partnerships. You can literally bet by the pitch in baseball now. I mean, what's the next pitch that's going to be thrown?
Gosh.
In the middle of the game. This is not just like placing a bet before the game, during the game, all the way to the very end, you can bet. And it's being promoted, it's being pushed because it benefits the leagues, it benefits the athletes, it benefits everybody.
I mean, watch time, right?
Yeah. Games that were were blowouts, now people watch to see if it's going to hit the spread or whatever to the end. And so it does benefit them. And so they're a part of it, and it's just become so intertwined in many ways. We're starting to see the effects on sports. There's been just this year a couple of big stories about coaches and athletes who are betting on games, and that's always been a thing. Going all the way back to what was the team, the White Sox or whoever that threw the World Series, allegedly Pete Rose. But yeah, we're just seeing that the game is being affected. That bothers us from a sports loving perspective, but it's much bigger than that around the broader culture.
Yeah, I mean it's everywhere. You mentioned it's on the commercials. You watch a pregame show. Watch the pregame show for the Super Bowl, and the people on that cast.
What did you just say?
Dang it.
Said it.
I'm going to have to bleep that
You
out.
have to bleep that out. Watch the pregame show for the thing that's on Sunday with the football people.
It's big and happens to be a
big and it's a game.
Big game.
And you're gonna have the guys there, and they're gonna make their picks of the week or what the locks.
Yeah.
This is my lock of the game, and I was talking to Aaron a little bit before we started recording. I'd be interested to track those to see how many of them flopped and how many of them won money. Because my guess is it's probably not a high record.
I'm sure somebody out there is
But
tracking
it's just,
that.
it's everywhere. And
I'm sure you can bet on that too, probably.
You could probably bet on that.
Bet on the bettors.
Win or
It's
lose.
insane, but it's everywhere. It's on every app. It's on every TV. I don't want to say the name because I don't want to give it publicity. There's an app where you can bet on the weather, and you can bet on economic, like will there be a recession?
Political things.
I mean, it's just
Apparently, it's illegal to bet on like the presidential election, but there's ways now you can
circumvent that.
do that offshore betting, and I think the biggest thing is like we've seen with a lot of vices or immoral behaviors is technology has made it so easy, instant and private. And it's been engineered to tap into our dopamine in our brains. And so they have perfected the art of getting people hooked and getting people to do what benefits them. And so our smartphones have, just like with pornography and all sorts of things, it's right there.
Yeah.
It's not, you used to have to go, in the back room of some place and place your bet or go to Vegas physically. It was one of the only places in the United States where you could gamble, right?
Yeah.
And now it's you can get on your phone and play a game of blackjack with real money, and be affected by it.
Oh my gosh. So, I don't know that I could ask, what does the Bible say about sports betting?
You can.
Okay. What does the Bible say about sports betting?
Nothing.
Maybe more specifically, gambling and
you were going to broaden it out. Gambling. Well, I wouldn't say nothing necessarily. I think explicitly.
I was just being facetious.
Oh, you're being facetious. Yeah. The Bible doesn't talk explicitly about gambling. There's times we do see gambling, or notoriously at the cross, the guards gambled for Jesus' clothing. That's obviously presented in a negative light. We were joking earlier about casting lots.
Yeah.
But I think using scriptural principles, we can get pretty close to understanding what God thinks about it.
Yeah.
And so, Kevin, what do you got?
Well, I mean, you could probably, I don't know, open to just about any page in Proverbs, and you could probably find a passage that talks about being wise with your money.
Sure.
And you don't have to search very long on the internet to find statistics on why gambling and sports betting in general is not a wise decision. But I think ultimately what it comes down to is this drive for more, this drive for greed, this drive for money. And, Paul says that the love of money is the root of all evil.
All kinds of evil.
Did he say kinds?
Yeah, all kinds.
My Bible is different than yours. Actually, that's not true.
It's the ESV.
No, but the heart is there where what you do with your time, what you do with your money, and all the things you can flesh that in a lot of different ways, but ultimately it reveals everything about your heart. And so, if your pursuit is get rich quick, if your pursuit is, a quick fix or hitting the jackpot, whatever it may be, that reveals a lot about your heart. And it reveals that that's where your treasure is. And it's not on Christ. And that's ultimately the big issue. And, I think that if you were to have conversations with people that engage in sports betting, it's really easy to rationalize it. Well, I still love Jesus, and that's not to say that's not necessarily true, but I think that it's really easy to rationalize things like that and say, well, it doesn't have a hold on me. It's not an addiction yet. So
I mean, you got to go deeper with it. There's all kinds of people say, well, I only buy, one lottery ticket every year at Christmas to give away as a gift, or I'd take $20 with me and play it on the slots, or, maybe people have an office pool, they throw in $5. It's like we could get super legalistic and super get into every situation, but I think you just got to go deeper and you got to go to the heart. The Bible talks all about, the Proverbs specifically forbids trying to gain wealth. ESV says hastily right? Get rich quick. Anytime we engage in one of those things, we're doing a foolish thing. Proverbs 13:11, wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. Proverbs 28:20, a faithful man will abound with blessings, but whoever hastens to be rich will not go unpunished. Just the idea that that's the foolish way to live, is to take your money and try to use it to get rich quick, hastily. It's going to lead to destruction. And so at the bare minimum, we have to recognize the foolishness of using our money in this way, because ultimately all of our money comes from God. We are stewards, right? We're using God's money. And I think that applies to a lot of financial decisions, how we spend our money on from anything. It's not just like something we might consider immoral, but even the amount of money we spend on food and entertainment and lots of things. Are we stewarding God's money in a way that honors him and shows him to be the ultimate treasure of our life?
That's a good one.
You talked about 1 Timothy 6, but the love of money. It says right before that, those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. I mean, just wanting to be rich is sending you down a road where you are in trouble. Hebrews 13, keep your life free from love of money and be content with what you have. That idea of contentment, right? Generally, people who bet, gamble, and stuff, you're discontent maybe with what you have. And then Proverbs 25:20, it says, a man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of principles there just with, again, love of money, greed. But I think there's also something to be said about how betting works with love of neighbor.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Think about that.
I was just about to interject with that. The whole sports gambling industry is built upon. It's based on other people losing.
yeah,
If you want to win in sports gambling, it means someone else is losing. And if you really want to engage in that, if you really want to feed the machine, as it were, whatever money you may or may not make, which we could get into that, how much money is actually made on sports betting, it's benefiting you, and it's hurting your neighbors, hurting other people who are engaging in that. And so a lot of this comes down to, do you value those other people as image bearers? Do you love your neighbor enough to not feed into that?
Yeah, I think the place to really direct our, righteous indignation is towards the gambling, betting companies, because these are billion-dollar companies who exist off preying off people, especially the poor. Yeah. It's known that from buying lottery tickets to casinos to sports betting is they intentionally target people who don't have a lot. Warren Buffett does not betting probably on the Super Bowl. It would stink if there was. What did I just say? Oh man, we got to bleep it out again.
all right.
Number 2.
13 minutes. I got to bleep that one out. Yep.
We'll have a lot of bleeps on this, but
They're not curse words.
they're not curse words. They're the bad word. The overlords won't let us say.
Trademarked, copyrighted word.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying is, it targets poor people, or the poor. And it also targets, right now, I think what really concerns me when it comes to sports betting is how it's targeting young men. Young men 18 to 34, that's the big market audience. You can see it from the commercials.
Oh, yeah.
It's going after our young men.
But even Zach was just in here, and he was talking about how high school students are having to deal with this too.
Yeah.
He was doing lots of research.
It's like anything,
Yeah.
Pornography is for 18 up, right? But the average age of exposure is 9 or 10. So it is. And it affects other people, and our young men, especially as we think about how all the things attacking the family, right? And how Satan loves to attack the family. Yeah. And especially as we think about young men, God calling young men to prepare to be the leaders of their families, they're in the direct line of fire with this. There's you can read lots of studies online about how states have legalized sports betting. The rate of bankruptcy goes up. The rate of debt claims goes up. Delinquent on other payments. Domestic violence, aggression. People who sports bet are more likely and more in danger of suicide. All sorts of other mental health issues. And then there is real sports addiction or gambling addiction, right? I mean, every commercial has in the fine print in the bottom, it's right there. If you have a gambling addiction, call this number. And so I think it's easy for everybody says that, well, I'm not going to get addicted, that we say that about all kinds of things. And, and there are all kinds of addictions. There's people addicted to food. There's people addicted to spending money in all different kinds of ways. But I think we need to recognize that this is a system designed by huge billion-dollar companies. Their whole goal is to get people hooked. It's why they give away free money. That's the big thing on the commercials is your first bet's free or we match this. They will literally, they're so confident that they'll get you, that they'll make money off of you, that they will give you some of their own money to get you to bet. And they will always win it back. That's the thing. The house, it's the age-old adage, right? The house always wins. It's baked in. They won't lose. They're billion-dollar companies. They won't lose. They're going to make money off you one way or another. And like Kevin said, even if you do win, they know you're going to put that money back in to bet more and lose it. But every time you win, someone else loses. And the other person on the end of it losing is likely someone who should not be playing. Even if for you, it's not a big deal and you have a lot of money, it's going to harm someone and it could be harming their marriage, their family. It could be your neighbor, who's creating all kinds of destruction in their own home through it. So again, I think you get down to the nitty gritty. I just put a couple dollars on a game. There's conscience here that we all have to use to guide, but I think just go deeper with the heart, looking at each person's heart and what's the motivating factor for you.
Yeah, that's good. So is it fair to say then that gambling is like a package deal, that it may be one thing, you may be spending a few dollars, but you want to look at the heart and see what else is going on, like what comes with it. Yeah,
absolutely. I'd say it's anything involving money, especially, and you get into greed. But you got to peel back the layers and see what is driving that for you.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking, what are some resources, Micah, that you used during your research, Kevin, as you were planning for this? What are some of the resources that you used that maybe could benefit our listeners?
1-800. No, I'm kidding. To be honest, I didn't really research any resources.
You read the Bible?
Oh, I did read the Bible. I do think that's a great resource. You're thinking more like programs or helps?
No, I mean just, did you look at a website? Kevin, you have a couple books with you today.
Oh, so. Yeah. Tell them about your books.
Well, so there was, I can't remember the name of the website. I don't want to misquote it, but it had all kinds of statistics on it for, what has been won, what has been lost. And they said over the span of 5 years, it was 2019 to, I guess it would be 2024, 2025, something like that. Over the span of 5 years, when you look at the United States as a whole, only 4% of people who have engaged in sports betting made a profit. And that profit, it's probably used loosely. It could be $1, it could be several $100s, but 4% out of, millions, those are not great odds. So I looked at some of those statistics. I used this book, Conscience by Naselli. How do you say that?
Andy Naselli, hold that up so people can see it.
How do you say that author's name?
Andy Naselli and J.D. Crowley.
There we go.
Conscience.
So he doesn't it's not a gambling book.
Yeah.
He doesn't explicitly talk about gambling, but his whole idea is in Scripture there are really important things like the deity of Christ, right? Those are non-negotiables in our faith.
Yeah.
So you have really, really important stuff, and then you have kind of secondary and tertiary things that we need to use a lot of grace and generosity when we're talking about. And so when you get into like secondary issues, it's, different denominations, it's how you view baptism. They're not necessarily things that are salvation dependent. But then you get into kind of tertiary issues, which, these are the way that you live. These are practical, lived out discussions. And he doesn't say it, but he would probably put sports gambling into that kind of tertiary category.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a really good read on how do you discern what is the Word of God say about this, and what if that conflicts with what your conscience says, and how do you deal with someone next to you who disagrees on alcohol, smoking,
sports betting,
whatever it may be.
I mean, how do you train your conscience?
How do you train your conscience? How do you?
Because you can sear it. You can sear your conscience.
Sear it,
You can. And we have.
How do you develop a conscience that's more in line with the conscience that God has, and how it? So it's a short read. It's a quick read. He's not super heady. I would recommend that. I also used a book called Ask Pastor John. So John Piper has a podcast series. This is it's a summary collection of what he says about different topics. He talks about sports gambling, and ultimately, I think what it comes down to is, does this glorify God? Is this something that benefits my neighbor? Is this something that is good for my family? And so those are questions that he really presses when talking about sports gambling, is when you're trying to figure out something it's not explicitly talked about in Scripture, but is this something that you can line up in those categories? Does this control my wallet? Does this control my time? Does this control my mind? And, if you answer yes to those questions, this is probably not something that you need to be engaging in. And you were talking about it. The next time I meet someone that just plays the slots for fun and has no emotional attachment to it and doesn't rage out when they lose and doesn't develop a gambling addiction, that'll be the first time.
Sure.
That'll be the first time. Rarely do these situations ever play out, probably never, where it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm going to go play the slots, $20, and whoop, I'm done, and I'm never going to play it again, and I'm not mad that I lost $20. You want to lose $20, just give it to me.
Just give it to Kevin.
Just give it to me.
It'll be used for something far profitable.
Children's ministry.
Children's ministry, or going out to eat.
Or lunch.
So. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot about when you ask the question, I mean, you boil it down, is this a sin? Is it a sin for me to buy one lottery ticket? Is it a sin for me? The Bible has surprisingly a pretty broad approach to sin. Romans 15:23, I think about this verse, says, for whatever does not proceed from faith is sin. That means a lot of things that we do can be sinful, right? Even things that we consider to be quote unquote good things. You can do good things in a sinful way, right? When they're done for the wrong motives, when they're done for self-glorification. And so I think sometimes we need to get away from the idea of, well, this is a vice and this is a virtue necessarily, or this is bad. Like back in the day, it was playing cards and drinking and gambling and like, of course, there's immoral things, but the Bible's all about getting down to the heart of it. Why are you doing what you're doing? Are you doing it from faith? Are you doing it for the glory of God? If not, it's a sin, and that's a much broader category than we tend to think of.
So, gambling then, is it for the glory of God? Can you gamble for?
Can you gamble for the glory of God?
I feel like I can justify pretty much anything, right? Like humanity can just be like, this is fine because I'm not that guy over there who's clearly.
We're really good at that.
Yeah.
I think it's really easy to rationalize anything, sinful or not sinful. I think it's really easy to get caught up in what's going on around you and say, oh, well, I'm fine. I'm not addicted. This is not, hurting anyone. This is just something
just
that
a couple
I do
dollars.
for fun. It's just a hobby.
Yeah.
It's an entertainment thing. I don't want to put restrictions on things that the Bible doesn't, but I think Micah hit on it. The broader issue is examine your heart, examine your life, your calendar, your wallet, your time, your mind. And, if you can honestly go through those things and say, yeah, this is for the glory of God. You know, that's your conscience. That's between you and the Lord. But you really got to jump through hoops and do some gymnastics to get there.
Yeah. And I think from our perspective, like, you know, when you sit down with someone whose life has been destroyed or who's really struggling with something, it changes your perspective on it. You know, when all you see is Kevin Hart and LeBron James on the commercial, you know, cracking jokes and like, it's no big deal. But like when you actually sit across from someone who, you know, their life's been devastated by alcoholism or gambling or pornography, and it really humbles you, and you start to think about maybe some of the ways you're, you know, perpetrating that even harmlessly, not realizing the other people who kind of get trapped up in it. It just, I don't know, it makes you think when you talk to someone who's really, really been affected, because it not just affects them, but it affects their marriage, their kids. I mean, there's generational damage that gets done by some of these things. And again, there's people on the other end of it, you know, sitting in really fancy buildings, raking in the dollars off the backs of people.
How would you, I don't know, counsel someone who has already done sports betting, and maybe has already bet on the big game that's upcoming? How would you counsel someone who's struggling with sports betting or participating in it?
Well, they need to give that money to Kevin. Clearly, you know, that's the solution.
Please give me money, just in general.
And if you're at the Ridgeview
I don't care where
campus,
it came
right,
from.
you should give it to AIM. But
No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'd say I'd want to sit down with someone and just talk to them. I think there is a lot of people who maybe don't realize where that line is for them in terms of, do they have a serious issue with this? You know, is this something they're doing for fun and just really not thinking about it? Or is it something that's seriously starting to affect their life? I'd want to gauge, you know, what's going on. I'd want to counsel and talk with them about scripture, get some accountability in their life. You know, thankfully, like all addictions, there are groups, there are support groups out there that can help people with, you know, and we've worked with people through a lot of different addiction groups. And so I think the reason those groups thrive is because addiction thrives in the dark. And so I think when you bring things into the light, they can be dealt with. And so that would be my chief counsels, whatever it is you're struggling with. And all of us have struggles. It's why God made the church for community, for accountability. Bring it into the light, and so it can be dealt with. Don't hide in silence and suffer in silence if it's starting to affect your marriage, your financial well-being, your work life. That's when you think, uh-oh, I have a serious problem here.
Yeah. Kevin, any thoughts?
I think that's great.
Really?
No, I think that's great.
Wow.
I mean, it's everything that you said was right where it needs to be. But when you're talking about something that you may not realize has a hold on you, I think one of the best ways to find out how it's really affecting you is to step away and see how your life changes based on that decision. So, you know, I haven't sat down with a lot of adults that have gambling addictions, gambling problems, but that's probably where I'd start is, you know, take some time away from it and see what that does to your heart and see what that does to your attitude, your mind, all that good stuff. And that's probably a telltale sign of, this is not good for me.
Yeah.
But also everything that he said.
Yeah. Rare moment, I think. All three of us are in pretty much agreement on these things.
Wow.
Right?
And we're being serious.
Yeah.
We can do it, Kevin.
So
we can do a serious podcast.
Boom.
Can we?
We can do it.
You just did.
I'm about to ruin the whole moment.
Don't
What are your bets for the big game? No, I'm just kidding.
You stole my joke.
Wow.
Was that your joke?
It's right there. It's written down.
Oh, well, it's a little bit. It's phrased differently. Edit that out.
Evan.
Bleep it out.
I just called you Evan. I'm sorry. Aaron,
I've been called worse. It's fine.
would you ever
Not that being called Evan's bad.
place a fun, friendly wager with a friend over something?
I don't even know if I have. Like, thinking like in high school. You know, I don't think I ever have.
Wow. Well, how about right now? Me and you. No, I'm
What do you
kidding.
want to bet? No, I probably
Cup of
done
coffee.
like scratchers or something. But
You have?
yeah,
Aaron.
I don't remember if I was given them or somehow I ended up with them.
Is that in your
I may have
personnel
bought them.
file?
The whole podcast is ruined.
The whole podcast is ruined. I have repented
Amen.
and asked for forgiveness. I was going to ask you who do you think is going to win the game on Sunday?
Do you really want to know?
I want to know because I don't even know who's playing.
You don't even know who's playing?
Don't even care.
Aaron.
I am. Sometimes I'm so
man.
envious of Aaron. He goes through life stress free.
He's so laid
Without
back
sports.
when it comes to sports and
so
everything.
worked up.
I can go to a Royals game and enjoy it because I don't care about any of it. So
You don't
it's just-
know.
I like
Do
baseball.
you have the
So,
shirt that says "I just hope both teams have fun"?
do they have a shirt like that? 'Cause
Oh,
I need
absolutely.
one.
Yes. I think Seahawks are the team with the momentum, and they're going to win it. 2 scores.
Really?
They're going to win it by 2 scores. Yeah.
I got the Patriots.
Really?
I think everything is going right for the Seahawks. Everyone's picking them. They're favored. That's when sports twists. That's another reason not to sports gamble. You just never know.
Yeah.
yeah, there's no way
never
to
know,
accurately
so.
predict.
I got the Patriots.
I was just say, which one is LeBron James on?
He is
Plays
the coach.
for the Yankees, I believe.
yeah.
John Brames
LeJean Brain.
from The Office.
Yeah.
All right. I did have an element of fun besides asking you who's going to win because I don't care.
But are you going to go for the food? Sports party.
Commercials.
I don't even,
I mean, bleep that out.
Halftime show.
at 31 minutes. Halftime show.
What's your favorite part? Food commercials. Halftime show.
Well, it depends on the halftime show person.
Not generally,
even know who's
It's generally something
They had the food
put on for the
fighters
family.
or U2 again, or something. The police, or something. That'd be fun, but I generally don't care at all.
commercials.
Commercials are sometimes the fun part,
Till it's a betting commercial.
They're pretty
it's
awful.
betting
They're
commercials.
pretty awful lately.
or a scary movie commercial where my kids are like hiding their eyes.
Yes,
It's
and
like,
then they're
okay,
just
great.
having nightmares over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, tell me about a time when ministering to someone was really fun, or maybe with someone.
It's always fun. I think that is the beauty of our church staff is I think one of our unspoken values is we take the mission seriously, but not ourselves. Is we are always having fun. We always say there's an element of fun in everything we do.
Yeah.
We like to laugh. We like to have a good time because what we do can be very serious and very weighty at times. And so I think we really work to have fun with one another, to enjoy one another, to laugh a lot. I think it's biblical. I think Jesus did a lot of laughing, and I think we'll do a lot of laughing in heaven.
Hope so.
And so I think we have a lot of fun ministering together because we genuinely enjoy working with the people we do. So I can't think of anything specific, but I just know that when we meet together, it's why we have a hard time even on podcasts, serious podcasts, is we keep it light.
Yeah. Kevin?
Dude, I'm in kids ministry. Everything I do is fun.
That's true. Do you guys do the Bible and stuff, or?
Yes, that is an important part of what we do.
Okay.
But we have fun all the time. We have fun on Sunday morning. I get to play games with the kids. We get to use pool noodles and Jenga blocks, and we get to have movie nights. So, I mean, everything that I do is fun when I'm ministering to kids, and I have a blast with it. But I love what I do for a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons is because it lets me buy obscene amounts of items. So I went to Sam's Club for our movie night, and I had like 12 bags of popcorn in my cart, like in the Sam's Club size.
Oh, the big ones.
And I saw someone there, and they looked at my cart. They said, "What do you got planned?" I said, "Nothing. I just really like popcorn." And so you can do that, and you can go get pool noodles, and so everything I do is fun.
And there's Bible.
There's the Bible. You make the Bible fun. You make Jesus fun.
I like it.
So there you go.
Awesome. We do have an event coming up in a few weeks. It's called One Night.
Yeah.
How would you encourage people about, to go to One Night and then to look forward to the 6 weeks of, what do we call it? 6 weeks of mission?
6 weeks of living on mission.
Living on mission.
I would encourage people to come.
Me too.
That's it.
All right. Podcast over. Go see the King.
No, really, it's going to be great. It's going to be a really unique night because it will be a night where we are working to get every person, man, woman, child, who calls Blue Valley Church their home to gather under one roof for one night in one unified purpose of mission, reaching our communities. And so that's a pretty rare opportunity. We actually can't, none of our buildings can hold every single person that calls Blue Valley Church their home. There's no, but we have an opportunity to do that at Olathe East High School. And so we're super excited, looking forward to it.
Yep.
Sign up.
Any thoughts on one night?
I'm looking forward to it. This is a rare opportunity for everyone that lives in your kind of general vicinity to be together, to make steps, intentional steps towards impacting where you live for the gospel. And opportunities. I've learned about being an adult for a long time, and just spontaneous, hey, let's get together. It just doesn't happen because stuff always comes up. This is a rare opportunity for everyone that lives near you to put aside the excuses and live on mission, and make Jesus and the gospel front and center. So you're not going to have a lot of opportunities like this. Don't miss out.
Don't miss out, man.
On this.
This is
awesome.
This isn't like the annual meeting where we get together for a business meeting and then go have barbecue, right? It's not like Tenebrae during Holy Week or Christmas Eve service where people come, they experience a worship service, engage in a worship service, and then go home, or engage in a fellowship activity. This is like living on mission, right? And putting your money where your mouth is. We just talked about betting. That might not be the right.
Don't do it.
Right.
Don't put money anywhere but
to take seriously what God's called you to do. So, sign up.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really great. And it is a totally unique thing in the life of, I think, any church, but also especially like Blue Valley Church, a multi-campus church.
Yeah.
How can you get everyone in the church, that big church together? Yeah. I think that's going to be really cool.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome.
do it.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining me today, gentlemen, to talk about something other than doing prank phone calls or
Hey, that's important stuff too.
It's very
lukewarm
important.
takes that you might call hot takes.
Wait a second.
Listen, hold on. Before you end the podcast,
Hot take.
we got
Hot take.
more praise from that most recent episode than we've ever gotten.
Yep. So we're coming back.
What was our viewer count
The Christmas
on that
episode?
No, was it? The Christmas one.
Yes.
My phone is over
Our
there.
viewer
I could
count
check.
Viewer count doubled through
We
the
went
roof.
from 4 to 8, and it was
Really?
I don't
Huge.
know. I'm just making that up.
Huge.
Office reference.
It was such a good episode.
Let's do it.
Don't knock it.
Yeah.
Did you check? No, I'm just kidding.
Can't check.
Anyways, thank you so much for joining me today for the podcast to talk about sports betting, which is all over the place, and every other commercial on my radio and YouTube and TV is sports betting, and it's super frustrating. So, at least for me personally,
It is.
it may not be frustrating for you guys. I know there are people who laugh at the jokes, but I just go, I don't care.
Sports. Go teams.
Go team. Sports ball.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Yep.
And to our audience, if you liked this podcast, please subscribe. Press the thumbs up button if you liked it. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. Hit that button twice just for good measure. And until next time, go serve your king.